Let's get it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the SchuZ Show. Hope you guys are off to a phenomenal Wednesday. There's a lot we're going to get in today's show, including the breaking news that did just come out moments ago that Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua will now be fighting each other in December in Miami. We'll be touching that base with you guys very shortly. But before I get into all that news right now, we have a very special guest joining me to kick off today's show. He's a man with a 25-3 record, 16 KOs. He's a newly crowned European light heavyweight champion. Goes by the nickname King Arthur. That's none other than Lyndon Arthur. Lyndon, appreciate you taking time to come on today, man.
Thank you. What did you just say about Jake Paul and Joshua?
It just got announced right before I went live that we just came out saying from the Ring magazine, Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul are finalizing a deal for a heavyweight fight on Netflix in December in Miami.
No way.
Yeah, it just came out right now. So I don't know if it's exhibition. Does not say that right now. It says it's heavyweight fight. Paul steps up to fight the former heavyweight champion after his exhibition with Grant the Tank Davis was canceled.
Might see Jake Paul get hurt and finally.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little bit shocked by that one. I knew there was rumors of that about a couple of months ago, but when they're doing the whole build-up for the Tank Davis fight, but I didn't think it was going to actually happen.
Fair play to Jake Paul.
Mm-hmm. Who do you have winning that fight?
Anthony Joshua better win.
I guess the better question is how quickly do you think it's going to end?
As soon as Jake thinks he can mix it with him.
Perfect. Absolutely. Well, I want to get into you a little bit, Lyndon Arthur, because obviously European light heavyweight champion, coming off a big win just a couple weeks ago now. How's it feel to be the European light heavyweight champion?
Just to say, it's another fight. I got to do it all again soon. He's just got to do it all again now as champion.
Now, I want to kind of break down this fight because obviously you go in there and you have a great performance. You get dropped in the second round. Obviously, you finish out the rest of the fight great for yourself. But kind of walk us through that because obviously a lot of people look at the fight. You get dropped early on in the fight. How as a fighter do you recover to the way that you did to be able to come back, bounce back, and then have a great end of the fight?
I don't know. I guess it was a flash knockdown. Good shot, but I think because I'm so fit and I have a good chin, I was able to just quickly and fair play to the fact that the round ended pretty quick as well.
Right.
But I was never really hurt, so I think I would have been out after another minute anyway.
Makes sense. I'm curious about this aspect for yourself because when it got announced, a lot of fans were very excited for this fight, myself included. I thought it was a great matchup. But we look at yourself, obviously you're 34 years old. You've accomplished so many great things for yourself. In the back of your mind, did you have at any point in time the kind of going through your mind saying, you know what, if I lost this fight, where do I go from here? Would I continue boxing? Or what was the plan when you were just kind of game planning for this fight and what was on the table?
Yeah, I'd probably retire if I got the offer. No shame to Brad, but I think if I can't beat him at this level, then I don't, I'm never going to get back to where I need to be or want to be.
Right. And so going forward now, obviously that's not the situation for yourself. You won the fight, European light heavyweight champion, and you're in a very, very intriguing weight class. I think it's one of the top 3 to 4 weight classes in all boxing right now. So many great names. You are 34 years old, but now you have this new opportunity in front of yourself. Where do you go from here? What do you want to accomplish in your next fight? Is there someone you're looking to fight? What do you want to do next?
It's whoever and wherever and whenever. It's just as long as the money's right. My fight, like I said, I'm at the end of my career. I still want to achieve good things, but it also must pay well.
And so when you look at your entire career to this point right now and you look at what you want to accomplish, let's say it is 2-3 years, whatever it is you have left in your career, what is a perfect ending for yourself? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to get done before you call it a quit?
I'd love to win a world title, but obviously, I know it's a hard task with where the belts are. I think it just depends on what happens before the belt. We'll see. I feel like the belts might get freed eventually. So we'll see if I could win one of them. That'd be amazing.
In terms of the British domestic scene, you guys have so many great fighters out there. Yourself, obviously, is in that group. You have Ben Whitaker, Zach Parker, Buatsi, obviously, is one we've talked about. Obviously, Anthony Yarde, you've already had your trilogy with him, but Ezra Taylor, Willie Hutchinson, Craig Richards. Out of all these guys, would you want another domestic fight, a big domestic fight? Would you want to fight someone in another country?
I think they're the best ones. The domestic fights are the best ones because it's kind of a black situation. kind of from we're from the UK, all from the UK. So
Right.
it's like I'm the best in the UK if I'm better than you in the UK in our regional thing.
There is one name. I know you guys were building up for a fight before. Joshua Buatsi, same card as you just fought him right there. Is that a fight we could ever see you guys come together and try making again?
Me and Boxy are cool. Me and Boxy have fought before in amateurs, and it's a fight that I definitely take serious. Uh, I'm not one that I shy away from. We're all every single person you just named, and this then is the same goes for them as well.
Mm. I am curious, when you look at yourself now moving forward, is there a certain thing that when you talk about how many fighters you have, how many years you have left in the sport, is there a certain timeline you have for yourself, or when you accomplish this, you move on, or what's kind of the game plan in terms of when you're going to say, you know what, I'm ready to move on from boxing?
I feel like my body will tell me before my brain will.
Okay.
I mean, my body's not doing what it needs to be doing no more than it. Hold on, it's the time. They call it a date. It's a horrible sport. You can get hurt. You know what I mean? I got
Hmm.
kids.
Absolutely. Now, you did fight in Manchester in your last fight. I want to ask about that aspect. Being able to fight at home, how special is that for yourself?
It was good. It was good. I've not boxed in Manchester for 6 years. And to box in the new arena, and to box in a derby, red versus blue. Two
Hmm.
Manchester guys getting on and put a good fight on for the fans. I'm happy that it all happened how it did, especially being in Manchester as well.
Growing up in Manchester, I'm curious, how big of an impact did that help in making you who you are today, the fighter you are today? Just what does it mean to be able to represent Manchester?
Yeah, it means everything, man. Manchester's only small, you know. And I don't feel like I feel the shoes of your qualities and your Kians versus people. I'm definitely doing my thing in the Manchester scene of boxing.
Hmm. In terms of your family, you've grown up in a fighting family. Your cousins, Zelfa Barrett, obviously Pat Barrett, who now is your trainer. I want to ask about that aspect. Just having these guys be a part of your life, what kind of helped them, and what impact have they had in your career in helping you make you into the fighter that you are today?
Master Pat's been there since the beginning, since I was an amateur. So
Hmm.
I'm my first fight amateur and to my last fight as a pro now. So he's massive, and just to have anybody close here in boxing going through the same stuff as you, that was a bonus.
Now, I believe you started boxing right around 10 years old at that point in time, 10, 11 years old. Did you
No,
ever imagine
I started boxing at 19.
a 19? But did you start training though around 10 or 11 years old?
No,
Okay. 'Cause I remember I saw
I
a
start,
story
I,
online
I,
that.
start, no, I started training when I was 19.
Okay, gotcha. I
I
must have
used
seen the
to
wrong
have my
story
first
then.
fight when I was 19.
Okay. And at that point, that's when Pat then introduced himself to you, or when you guys started to really, he brought you to the gym, right?
Yeah, well, about 18.
Okay, gotcha. For some reason, the article I read, I must have had the wrong dates then on that one. But then, so
Yeah.
you're 18, 19 years old. If I come to you at that point in time, I say, you know what, you're going to become and accomplish everything you've accomplished at this point in time. How would you have reacted to that?
And I said, I believe you because I was
Mm,
always confident.
right.
You know, I wouldn't have knew if it was going to be true or not, but I definitely said I believe you.
Mm. As you look through your career, all the fights you've had, all the accomplishments you've had, what moment from your boxing career stands out the most to you?
Probably my first fight.
Mm,
My first fight. You can only have one professional debut.
right.
I got the box on such a big card, and it was an achievement to go from, let's say, starting at 19 to turning pro on such a big card at boxing.
And then I want to kind of go into the Anthony Yard fights. You obviously have your trilogy with him, but the very first situation, you're fighting in the middle of COVID. I just want to ask about that aspect because obviously that shut the whole world down. You guys had the fight scheduled for, I think it was April originally, then obviously gets postponed down to December. When you talk about that aspect, what was the whole Anthony Yard trilogy like, and especially that first fight fighting during COVID?
Um, it was all fantastic. The Andy Hard fight, thank you. The Andy Hard fight was something that we asked for the same day that I was in Paramount's office to get signed by him.
Hmm.
So I won that fight. And we always knew that he was going to be a dance partner, somewhat. Um, so to be able to get the trilogy out and get three good fights, or three very different fights, all of them, it's an amazing thing because to have a trilogy in boxing is hard to come by.
Right.
Especially we boxed like the first one was lockdown and the second one was sold out. They really were boxing, and the third one was in front of 40, 50,000 people on the Bank bank card. So we made history for ourselves.
Right. And that's what I want to ask about right there because I think that's such a huge thing for yourselves. Very few people get to say they were part of a trilogy and the way it ends. You know, you're a part of the Chris Eubank, Conor Benn, one of the most historic nights in British UK boxing scene. When you look back at that, obviously I'm sure you would have wanted the fights to go differently, but you just know that your name will always be solidified with the trilogy, with what you accomplished. And I know financially too, it obviously helped out a lot in that aspect. What does it mean to you to say, you know what, you were a part of that history, Mark?
Again, that's an amazing experience. And another thing I like to say, once I've retired, I'll be able to look back on and say, yeah, I did that.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Because like you say, not many fighters get to get involved in churches, and two, not many fighters get to fight in football stadiums in front of that many people
right,
on such big cards. That Eubank Bank card will never happen again, even though it's happening the rematch. The first thing of that happening, the history of that, never be able to happen again. But I will always be a part of that. So
right. You also have another big fight. You fought Dimitri Bivol. I want to ask you about that aspect. It's another one of those things that you look back on. You're going to fight somebody who will be a first bout Hall of Famer, one of the best of this generation. When you look at that situation, though, what did you just learn from that? Being in the ring with the guy Dimitri Bivol, what did you learn and take away from that opportunity?
um, just through the circumstance of what I had to go through in this short space of time to get ready for that fight, it just showed me a lot about myself and how
Mm,
resilient I can be.
right.
Because I only had 4 weeks training, I had to lose a whole lot of weight. Couldn't walk. I was injured,
Mm,
and I still went in there and did 12 rounds with the best lightweight of this generation, and probably up there pound for pound, top five minimum.
yeah, right. Right.
And as much as I lost to take a positive from a bad situation, uh, I went in there and did all that under what I was under. So I can only be proud of myself.
Had you been healthy in that situation, had a longer training camp, all those different aspects, how much different do you think that fight would have went?
I'm not saying I'm not stupid. Also,
Right.
I'm a realist, so I understand the task of Bivol. I
Mm-hmm.
understand how good he is. I'm a fan of Bivol before I fought him. I was a fan of him. So I'm not saying I'll beat him, but I'll definitely be able to give a better account of myself.
Right. Out of everything you have accomplished so far to this point in your career, what would you say is the most shocking thing to yourself? Or has everything that's happened been something you saw happening?
What's more shocking?
Yeah, like what would you say is the most shocking or kind of you look back on and say that's probably the highlight of my career so far?
I don't know, because like I said, because I'm so confident
Right.
in myself, I kind of expected myself to get to where I'm at. So nothing shocking.
Mm.
Nothing shocking to me without sounding cocky. Nothing shocking. I feel like I've underachieved.
Mm. I love that mindset right there. And I want you to actually elaborate upon that because obviously you have the success you've had in your career. Sometimes the mentality of the athletes have to be a little bit different, have to have such an extreme confidence in yourself. Walk us through that. Why do you have that about yourself? Why have you always said, you know what, I'm going to go out there and accomplish great things? I believe in myself. Why is that?
Just, I'm scared of being unsuccessful.
Mm.
You know, I'm scared of not being able to give my son or my daughter what they want,
Mm.
if and when.
Gotcha.
So I guess that's probably a big reason.
I love that. All right. Well, I've got a few different things I want to wrap talking about. One of which is this: you go by the name King Arthur. I want to know the backstory behind that. How did that nickname come to be? How'd you get that name?
It just made sense.
Right.
My name's Arthur. King Arthur was a thing, so it just made sense. That I think it might have been Tommy McDonald, one of my first coaches. He used to call me that as a joke.
Okay.
King Arthur's there kind of thing. Just kind of stuck. But it made sense also.
Right. I want to ask your prediction because there are some big fights domestically. Obviously, one's coming up this weekend I want to ask you about, and then also some fights within your weight class. The very first one I want to ask you about, Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn 2. Who do you have winning the rematch?
I think it will be a better fight,
Okay.
but I do think Chris will win.
All right. You
I
said
think
better.
size doesn't matter.
And you just said it's going to be a better fight. Obviously, the very first one was probably the fight of the year already. Why do you think this one will be able to top that one?
Because they're both aware of each other. Where Conor now, he's going to be really sharp.
Mm,
He's going to go back and watch everything he's done wrong and try to rectify that. And Chris Eubank knows what he brings now,
right.
and he's aware of the velocity that he comes at, and how ferocious that Conor Benn is. So I think he'll be a little bit more sharper and stuff.
Okay.
I expect a better fight.
The co-main event on this card is going to be Jack Catterall, Echo Esserman. Another very intriguing fight right there. Jack Catterall, obviously, he's come stateside the past few months and working now with Bozy Ennis. Obviously, great move, I think, from there. What do you expect in this fight? Who do you have winning that one?
Echo is a very, very, very good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He's come up the hard way. Not very many easy fights. But Jack Catterall going to America and getting that style might be a cheat code.
Mm.
He's defensively sick anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and if the Yanks can add on to that, I think he'll be a really bit hard person to beat.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I said before. So I want to ask you a little bit more on that part. So you think that Jack Catterall making the move to Bozy Ennis is going to be huge for himself and be able to make him essentially give him the edge to win this fight then?
I think it gives him an edge to
Okay.
beat a lot of people.
Mm.
Because his defensive is sound anyway. Like, just off his own back. Never mind going over there and getting a foot to America as well.
Right. And then I want to go into a fight that's going to be happening in 2 weeks now in your weight class. David Benavidez, Anthony Yarde. Who do you have winning that one?
I give y'all a chance because he can punch. But
Okay.
it's going to be a hard fight. It's a hard task for him to do.
Hmm.
Benavidez is a monster.
Right. And I'm curious as well because David Benavidez, say he wins that fight. Obviously, a lot of people are going to start asking very quickly, okay, he should go fight Dmitry Bivol. Do we still have the trilogy between Bivol and Beterbiev? What's your thoughts on how you'd handle that? If you were the guy making all the matchmaking right now, would you prefer to see the trilogy happen first and then Benavidez fight the winner of the trilogy, or how would you make it?
You do the trilogy just because it's history and they've had 24 rounds. Like, you can't pick them. A lot of people think Beterbiev won, a lot of people think Bivol won. I think it will go like that again. It's gonna be another close fight, but then it's final. Whoever wins that wins. And then I think Benavidez will wait anyway.
Right. So let's say we have the trilogy happen and Benavidez fights Beterbiev and Bivol. Does he win against either one of them? Does he lose against both of them? How do you see this playing out?
I think he's got a better chance winning against Beterbiev.
Okay. But you don't think he'd beat Bivol then?
No,
Okay. So you'd say without a doubt that Bivol is the best fighter of this generation at light heavyweight.
I think so.
All
That's
right.
my opinion.
Fair.
It's obviously not fact, but I believe he is.
So what makes him so special? Because we watch him. Obviously, everyone can have their own opinion on him, but you obviously are very, very high on him as well. What makes Richard Bivol so special?
The way that he can adapt, the way that he gains distance, very quick. And his style and his jab.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, I've got a couple questions before I let you go, Arthur. One of them is this, and Lynn, I want to ask you about this aspect. And this, obviously, we talk about your future plans and some of those aspects right there. But when can we see you back in the ring? Is there a certain timeline you want to see? Early 2026, mid 2026? When can we see you back in the ring?
Probably a bit early 26.
Okay,
March, April,
sounds good.
probably about then. Yeah.
Perfect. And then the final question I want to wrap up with is the question I like wrapping up each and every single interview with, and that's talking about your legacy. Obviously, we talked about one day, obviously, you're going to move on from boxing, and that'll be that. But when you do move on from boxing, what do you want to be remembered for what you've accomplished both inside and outside of the ring?
Someone that tried. Someone that tried to change your life around. I shouldn't be here. Not like you shouldn't be alive, but like from how late it started and what the path was going down.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Lyndon, I appreciate you taking time to come on today. It's been a blessing and honor having you on the show. And I can't wait to see what God's got in store for you, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Of course.
very much.
You're always welcome on, man. God bless.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys all for tuning into that interview. I'm going to go on a quick commercial break, and then we're going to hop right into the breaking news of the Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua fight. Give me about 2 or 3 minutes. Obviously, I have to make sure I see the exact notes about what all just came out right now because I was not able to look at the whole report yet. But yes, I'm going to go look at the news real quick, give you guys the update. I'll be back live in about 2 or 3 minutes. If you guys have any comments or questions, make sure to throw them in the chat, and we'll be addressing this when I get back from the break as well. Also, smash that likes button if you're on YouTube right now tuning in. I'll talk to you guys very shortly. I definitely appreciate that. And I'll be right back. God bless you guys. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the SchuZ Show. Let me get this camera on right. All right, hopefully we got audio. I'm gonna make sure we're all good here. Let me check real quick. We had a little bit of technical difficulties in getting the show back up, but hopefully we should be good. All right, let's try that again. We should be good to go now. Hopefully all is set now with audio and technical issues right there. But with that being said, obviously, we got some boxing news to get into. I already had a full show for you guys planned today. And then, moments before I was going live with Lyndon Arthur, the news comes out that Jake Paul has found his next opponent. Now, before I do get into all that, though, if you guys are tuning in and you guys want to give your guys thoughts on the announcements or any topic I talk about on today's show, or you guys have your own points that you guys want me to discuss, leave it in the chat. Your comment will pop up on the screen, and then I'll go and address it from that point in time. But also, if you're tuning in on YouTube, make sure to smash that likes button for me. I definitely appreciate that. That always helps with the show as well. Let's get right to it, though. It is official. Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul are finalizing a deal for a heavyweight fight on Netflix in December in Miami. Sources tell The Ring's Mike Coppinger. Paul steps up to fight the former heavyweight champion after his exhibition with Gervonta Tank Davis was canceled. Wow. I'm shocked. I am absolutely shocked right now. Listen, we need to give some more respect to Jake Paul for taking this fight. We do. Listen, this is a man who a lot of people question his resume, and rightfully so. And people obviously want to judge Jake Paul for what he's done for boxing, the way he carries himself, so on and so forth. Listen, if Jake Paul steps foot in the ring with Anthony Joshua, the former heavyweight world champion, one of the best heavyweights of this generation, and he steps foot in that ring against that man, you have to give him his respect. Very few people would step foot in the ring with Anthony Joshua, and Jake Paul is doing so. Listen, I'm not going to shoot him in the foot for this at all. He deserves full credit if he wants to step foot in that ring and fight Anthony Joshua. I don't care what you guys want to say with that. I'm going to defend this man. This man obviously gets a lot of respect for this. If you step foot in the ring with Anthony Joshua, I'm going to give you your flowers for that because honestly, we know what's going to happen. Obviously, AJ will knock him out real quickly and easily, as he should be. But Jake Paul deserves his flowers for doing so. Hats off to him. But let me just set this whole situation up, though. Jake Paul is coming into this situation. He is fighting Anthony Joshua in what has essentially now been a very short come-together package deal. We had the Tank Davis situation unfold. It is what it is. But let me just be honest right now. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is 100,000 times better of a fight than Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis. The interest in the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis fight was not there. It was irrelevant. Nobody really wanted to watch that fight. It was a dumb fight to get scheduled. Nobody wanted it. Tank Davis was not doing a good job promoting the fight. Then he gets in trouble with the law again. It was a disaster of a fight. This fight is actually exciting. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, two guys that are actually within weight range of each other to some extent at least. And on top of that, we're looking at a situation where this is actually a fight that Jake Paul could lose in. Let's just be quite frankly honest. When I say could lose, I think we all know the answer is going to be will lose. But this is a legitimate fight that I think actually generates interest. Why? Because there's a legitimate chance that Jake Paul gets knocked out. People want to see that. It's going to drive up revenue, going to drive up interest. You're talking about a heavyweight fight now. That's a significantly larger scale fight now. It's still going to be on Netflix in Miami in December. Listen, everything about this fight right here makes this fight a much bigger and better fight than the Tank Davis fight ever was going to be. It's just a fact. I am going to give hats off to both men for making this happen. Anthony Joshua for coming in on short notice and he gets to take care of that tune-up fight for himself heading into 2026. And then for Jake Paul, you are going out there on short notice and fighting the former heavyweight world champion of the world in Anthony Joshua. Hats off. Much respect. He deserves his flowers for doing so. I'm baffled. I thought he was going to go take somebody that was going to be a smaller guy. That's what he was preparing for. But Jake Paul is taking on Anthony Joshua. Hats off to this man for doing so. And like I said, I genuinely do think this fight is so much more interesting now than it was before. There was nothing I was excited about the Jake Paul Tank Davis fight except for the undercard. Now, I'll be honest. I'm excited to see what goes down in the ring that night. I think I know what's going to happen. The second Anthony Joshua wants to get him out of there, he's going to get him out of there. But I'm excited. It's intriguing. With Tank Davis, obviously Tank Davis is a great fighter. He's a much more skilled fighter. But there was like about a foot difference between the two of them, like 100 pounds, whatever the case would have been. It was not a fun fight to go out there and watch. This one's going to drive up interest and revenue. It's a much better place for Netflix. It's a much better place for Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. Everybody wins here. I'm happy about the situation. I think it's amazing. But let me know you guys' thoughts in the chat. What's you guys' thoughts now on Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua? Might even ask you, who do you have winning the fight? I think we all know, but let me know your guys' thoughts. When do you think Jake Paul gets knocked out? Leave it in the chat. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to think about that fight. Other news came out a little bit ago. Jermall Charlo and Caleb Plant are in talks for a super middleweight clash in 2026. Remember, this fight was rumored to go down and happen when Caleb Plant, well, let's just be honest, he had the biggest upset of the year against Armando Resendez. And then Caleb Plant obviously had to regroup himself. But let's be honest, I'm now fully on the side of just make the fights happen. Tune-up fights are necessary for a lot of guys, but we've seen it happen far too often. These guys mess up when they go out there and they try to make these tune-up fights happen and didn't go according to plan. So might as well just go out there and make it. If you're Charlo and Caleb Plant, it makes the most sense financially for each other. There's still going to be interest as a grudge match, so on and so forth. I personally still want to see this fight. I know the Armando Resendez loss for Caleb Plant obviously dimmed the light a little bit on Caleb Plant. But if we're going to be honest right now, I want to see Caleb Plant, Jermall Charlo. There's been too much beef over time, too much of a build-up process. It's too easy of a fight to promote. This is a fight I want to see. I think 2026 is a perfect year for them to go out there and make this fight happen. Make it happen. Who cares what happened with Resendez fight for Caleb Plant? Yeah, it didn't look good. Yes, it dimmed the light on Caleb Plant. Still make the fight happen. We want to see. I think it'd be very interesting. Still, Charlo's only fought one time against Thomas Lamana in a very long time. Caleb Plant obviously coming off a bad loss. It is what it is. Throw that stuff behind us. Move on. Make the fight happen. It's going to be easy to promote. I want Caleb Plant and Charlo going down in 2026. Paramount has announced that Paramount Plus will implement price increases in the U.S. in the first quarter of 2026. Those increases coincide with the arrival of UFC and Zuffa Boxing. Interesting. Not shocking. With, let's be honest, prices and everything in the world today continue to go up every single year, it appears. And this one was expected. When you add in UFC, you add in Zuffa Boxing, we knew it was going to go up. My biggest question, I can't give you guys the details yet on because we don't have the info, is how much? Remember, the DAZN package came out just last week on Friday when we all found out the news that the new DAZN package is going to be quite a hefty price for pay-per-views. Now, obviously, you can have your own thoughts on that. So my question is this. What does Paramount Plus cost? If it is still reasonable and you're talking $200 or less or whatever it is, that's not a bad deal if you're going to still get everything that comes with Paramount Plus on top of obviously UFC and boxing. So keep an eye on that one. I'll give you guys updated news on that when it comes. Here's another topic I want to spend some time on. I actually want to hear you guys' thoughts on it as well. And I have a question for you guys. Answer them in the chat. Who do you have winning between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez? The fight's now expected to go down on January 31st in New York City. I'm assuming it's going to be Madison Square Garden. But who do you have winning that fight? Shakur or Teofimo Lopez? Let me know in the chat. But here's my thoughts. I have Shakur Stevenson winning this fight. That's the statement I have made since the rumors began about this fight being happening. But I want to talk about this. If Shakur Stevenson moves up to 140 and defeats Teofimo Lopez to become the 140-pound world champion and not only beats Teofimo Lopez, but does so in a dominant fashion, there's going to be a legitimate conversation that we need to have about Shakur Stevenson. I'm of the belief that Shakur Stevenson is that guy, but a lot of people, rightfully so, can still have some critique and criticism of him. If Shakur Stevenson can move up weight classes and take on one of the top 15 or so pound-pound fighters in Teofimo Lopez and do so in dominant fashion, let me be honest with you guys. It's going to be time to have a conversation about Shakur Stevenson being a top 5 pound-pound fighter in the world and possibly the next face of USA boxing. That's the fact. If Shakur Stevenson can pull off this fight in dominant fashion, it's going to prove that, listen, this man maybe just is the second coming of a Floyd Mayweather, or at least a comparison to Floyd Mayweather in the sense that, listen, he is so good defensively, so skilled, that it does not matter who you put in the ring with him, he will go out there and dominate them. And I think that's the message that he could send on January 31st against Teofimo Lopez. And quite frankly, I think that will be the message that Shakur Stevenson sends on January 31st. But it's going to be interesting. This fight is a very interesting fight. I think Shakur will win it. I think Teofimo Lopez is going to have problems with Shakur Stevenson in the ring that night. But we'll see what happens on January 31st. But I am happy that this fight's getting done because too much talking was going on, too much uncertainty about the fight. I'm glad they made this fight happen. It's going to be a mega fight. Perfect place to have it is going to be in New York City. I'm all for this fight going down. I love the idea of it. Couple fight news things I want to give you guys before we wrap today's show. Starting off with this. Angelo Leo will defend his IBF featherweight title against South African Leandro DLAMINI on February 21st in Albuquerque, New Mexico, live on ProBox TV. Obviously, it's not the biggest fight in the world, but Leo gets another fight underneath his belt. February 21st, good to see him back in the stateside fighting. He obviously went out to Japan, got that belt, now he's going to be returning back home to America. Then, Lee Wood, Josh Warrington is being targeted for February 21st. Remember, going back to the very first fight, Wood was well behind on the scorecards when he stopped Warrington in the 2023 world title fight. I like this fight. Good rematch right here, February 21st. Book it, make it happen. Obviously, same day as the Angelo Leo fight, which I just talked about. So that's going to be a big rematch to have happen domestically in the UK. And the last thing I want to touch up on before I wrap today's show, because I don't see any more comments in the comment section at this moment in time, is this. IBF flyweight champion Masamichi Yabuki is slated to return to the ring against Felix Alvarado on December 27th in the Chi Expo in Tokohama, Aichi, Japan. Big fight right there, and all I can say is December is the month of Japanese boxing. This is now 3 big cards going down within a 11-day time span right there, 10-day time span in Japan. So massive week of boxing, or 10 days of boxing going on in Japan in December. I'm going to keep you guys up to date on that when those things come to fruition. So with that being said, though, I appreciate each and every single one of you guys for tuning in to today's show. I don't see any more comments in the comment section. So I hope you guys have a blessed rest of you guys Wednesday. I will be back live tomorrow on Thursday. I will see you guys then. May God bless you guys all. Have a great rest of you guys' day. God bless you guys all. And with that being said, SchuZ out. God bless y'all.